does this number belong to Tyler's mom, Beth?
Who's this?
I'd totally appreciate if you didn't answer my question with a question, okay? Thanks. Answer my question, now.
Isn't it usually considered polite to tell someone who you are before making aggressive demands when messaging a complete stranger out of the blue?
Huh?
Who are you?
Holy heck, you really are something else. I'm Cindy, your son's girlfriend.
Huh? My son?
Well, to be more specific, I'm actually his ex-girlfriend, but that's your son's fault. Allow me to explain what I mean.
Okay, I'm really not sure what you mean by my son.
What? Do you need me to say his name again? Tyler. Tyler. Your son, Tyler.
And did this son of mine do something to you?
Yes, he did something super duper horrible to me. He used me, tricked me, deceived me, then tossed me aside when he was done with me like some piece of garbage, like some pawn in his sick game. I'm the poor victim who got chewed up and spat out by your son's marriage scam.
Marriage scam?
Your son tricked me into paying him $150,000 as part of some twisted marriage scam.
My son, Tyler, $150,000?
That's what I just said, isn't it? You're his mom, so you must be getting some money from him, right? That's why you need to take responsibility for what he did and make this right.
Responsibility?
Yes, I am telling you to show some sincerity and good faith by way of apology for your son's despicable behavior towards me.
Could you be more specific?
Give me back the $150K he swindled me out of. If you do, I'll consider this whole thing settled and am very kindly willing to not take him to court. Also, I'm pregnant, so you need to take responsibility for that, too.
You're pregnant? I'm just asking this to make sure, but you wouldn't joke about something as serious as my son Tyler getting you pregnant, would you?
Give me a break, like I joke about that. If anything, it seems like I'm the only one taking this seriously. Tyler promised me we were going to get married. I figured if we were going to end up getting married and spending the rest of our lives together, it wouldn't be a big deal for me to lend him the $150K he was asking for. But in spite of that, the moment I told him I was pregnant, he blurts out, "Not my problem," and runs away like some sniveling coward with his tail between his legs.
Wow.
If he agrees to give me back my $150K and be a daddy to this baby growing inside of me, I won't take him to court for marriage scamming me, and I'll agree to marry him. This isn't going away unless you play ball with me, so you better start taking what I'm saying seriously. Think of it this way. If you work with me on this, all of your problems will disappear in a heartbeat. Isn't that an attractive offer? Besides, Beth, this will be your first grandson. From your point of view, I don't think this is a bad offer at all.
The thing is, Cindy, there is no way my Tyler could possibly have done any of the things you're accusing him of.
Is this where you start blabbering about how my son would never do such a thing? You obviously don't know him very well if you think he's some angel who could do no wrong. I get why you want to tell yourself that, but this is reality. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. I am the victim of his scheme, and as much as you'd like to tell yourself otherwise, I do actually exist. I'm not a dream, and I'm not a ghost. This is reality. That's why you'll be making sure that jerk Tyler takes full responsibility for everything he did to me. I want the $150K he stole from me back, and his hand in marriage. And I ain't budging on this, so don't even try to negotiate or worm your way out on his behalf, because you'll only make things worse for yourself.
I'm sure you can understand that this is all very sudden for me. I need some time to talk things through with my husband. I take it that won't be a problem for you? I'm absolutely certain this is a case of mistaken identity, but it seems like you've been through a rough time of it lately, so let me get definite confirmation so you can move on and go after whoever it was who really hurt you.
And I'm absolutely certain I have the right person, but fine. Once your little family meeting's over, I'll be waiting for my 150K and my wedding. Speak soon.
Vince, I'm sorry to bug you while you're away on business like this. There is something I need to discuss with you urgently.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm currently in the bus en route to the hotel, so I wasn't busy anyway. What's up? Is everything okay?
Listen, someone messaged me out of the blue. Supposedly Tyler scammed some girl out of 150K with some kind of marriage scam, as well as getting her pregnant.
Excuse me? A marriage scam? Pregnancy? Tyler?
Some girl called Cindy messaged me all of a sudden.
Surely it's just some kind of prank. I've heard about this kind of thing on the news before. They call a bunch of people with some dramatic story, citing a random name until they find someone who matches. Tyler couldn't possibly do something like that in the first place. Even if it's not a prank, maybe she's making some kind of misunderstanding. In any case, there's absolutely no way what she's saying is true. At least not with our Tyler.
Right, I'm with you 100%. I try to see the best in people, so I'd like to think she's making some kind of misunderstanding. But the thing is, I don't know anyone called Cindy, and I have no idea how she got my number or knows Tyler's name. I suppose she could have tried her luck with hundreds of people before me, but it still kind of feels too oddly specific to be a random prankster. To tell you the truth, Vince, I'm scared.
Right? It must have given you quite a shock to get bombarded with all that stuff.
Does the name Cindy ring any bells to you?
Nope, nothing. I don't know anyone named Cindy.
I see.
Right, first things first. I'm gonna come home tomorrow. It's probably an overreaction, but I think you should take Tyler and get away from the house for tonight, just in case.
Right, you're right. If Cindy knows this much, she might know where we live, too. I'll call my dad and have him pick us up and take him to my folks' place.
Yeah, good idea. Also, I don't think you should reply to her anymore until we get a better idea of what's actually going on here.
You're right. I'll think about how to proceed from here while keeping an eye on things and seeing how this all plays out. All right, I'm gonna make the preparations for mine and Tyler's emergency evacuation.
Great. If anything happens, you have to let me know immediately.
Thanks, Vince. You're my rock. I'll be in touch when we get to my folks' place.
Be careful.
Hey, Beth? How did last night's family meeting go? I've been waiting for you to message me for ages. What the heck's going on? Do you have any idea how anxious you made me? I've done nothing but worry after what your jerk of a son did to me, and now you're making my head even worse. I was so anxious I cried all night. Look, don't you feel guilty about what you did to me? Hurry up! I want my 150K and my wedding! Hurry up! I sent you a picture of me crying, goddammit! Do you have no heart? How can you ignore the fact that your evil son took advantage of a poor, vulnerable young woman for his own financial gain? You're a disgrace to all mothers. Hurry up and tell Tyler to give me back my 150K and put a goddamn ring on my finger. Beth, you better quit ignoring me right now. Is it any wonder Tyler grew up into the kind of guy who makes girls cry with a mother like you? If you keep dragging this out, my patience and kindness will wear thin, and it won't be 150K you owe me, but 250K. Also, I'll demand the wedding be held abroad on a luxurious tropical island. Is that what you want? For me to increase my demands? Hurry up and drag that scumbag Tyler out of hiding pronto.
Vince, I finally found out Cindy's true identity.
Seriously?
Yep, and that's not all. I also know who she means by Tyler.
Oh?
I want to tell you everything in detail. Do you think maybe you could stop off at my folks' place on the way home from work?
I'll be there!
Hey, I am freaking serious here. Stop ignoring me.
Sorry I kept you waiting, Cindy.
Aha! There you are! You kept me waiting for a whole 3 days. That's it. You leave me no choice but to up the stakes to $250K and a foreign wedding.
Listen, Cindy, here's the thing. Tyler is a 2-year-old girl.
Huh?
The reason I'm so late getting back to you is because I wanted to take some measures to ensure my daughter's safety before I did, so please find it in your heart to forgive me. As for your claim, I wish you would have done a more thorough investigation before bombarding me with your threatening messages.
What are you talking about?
You extracted my phone number out of one of my friends, didn't you?
Huh? One of your friends?
I got a message from her. She told me she gave you my number because you approached her outside kindergarten and fed her your nonsense story about Tyler, my 2-year-old, owing you settlement money. She asked me if I ended up getting any messages from you.
Wait, those moms having an idle chit-chat outside the kindergarten were your friends?
Yes. I told her I had no recollection of anything involving settlement money and that she shouldn't blindly accept suspicious stories involving large sums of money owed to strangers, especially when they involve giving out my private information. But then it dawned on me. She was talking about you, wasn't she, Cindy? When I showed her the photo you sent me, she said it was you, beyond any shadow of a doubt. When I asked in more detail about what exactly happened, she said you approached her just around the time they were all talking about the fact that I was planning on buying Tyler that $15 toy aeroplane that's in all the TV commercials right now for her 3rd birthday.
Wait, what? $15? Not $150,000?
Right.
The aeroplane is a toy, not a real airplane?
Right, of course. My husband's a huge radio communications and aviation geek, and thanks to him, Tyler's really into planes right now.
What the hell is going on here? That's not my Tyler.
Right, of course she isn't. I'm repeating myself now, but my Tyler is a 2-year-old girl.
I wanted to find Tyler to get my revenge on him for what he did to me, and while I was walking around the neighborhood where the kindergarten is, I overheard some people talking about a Tyler whose mom was going to buy him a $150,000 airplane for his birthday. It sounded like they were talking about a super rich family, and I kept hearing the name Tyler, so I put 2 and 2 together, and I thought it was the scumbag who tricked me.
I see. So the harassment you've been subjecting me to over the last few days was all the result of a misunderstanding you made after mishearing something while walking around town?
I misheard them? Oh my god.
The Tyler you're referring to was your male friend and classmate from back when you were attending college in Seattle, wasn't he? The pampered, spoiled son of a very rich family?
Yes, but wait, how do you know all this?
I think the Tyler you're looking for used to live in our neighborhood.
Really?
I came from out of town, so I didn't know the family personally, but according to what the neighbors tell me, he got a job with a major Japanese YouTube manga company straight after graduating college and hasn't even been in the States for the last 5 years.
What? He left 5 years ago?
Supposedly, he used to come back to visit his family, but hasn't been home at all in the last 2 years, what with everything that's been going on in the world lately. Which means it's safe to say the possibility of you being pregnant with his child is precisely 0.
What?
Which begs the question, what on earth were you trying to accomplish by bombarding me with all of this talk of marriage scams and pregnancy?
Yeah, I've had it with you. Fine, you're right. Well done, Beth. You figured me out. It was all a lie.
I knew it.
But you should know this is still all Tyler's fault. No matter how much poetry or how many love letters I left in his mailbox, he didn't even have the basic decency to reply to me. No, scratch that. He wouldn't even look at me. And what's worse, he even had the nerve to start dating another girl from our class. The most horrible part of it was she wasn't even nearly as pretty as I am. Don't you think that's horrible?
That's a difficult question to answer given that I wasn't there and don't know the circumstances.
But no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get him off my mind. Then I remembered how I heard his family home was in your neighborhood one time during class back when I was at college. So I rode 6 hours on the bus to pay him a little visit. But then, what I thought was a piece of blessed fortune, that little tidbit of information I happened across when I heard the moms gossiping outside the kindergarten, was actually a different Tyler all along? I can't believe it.
But listen, Cindy, how was anyone ever possibly going to believe any of this nonsense about marriage scams and pregnancies when you hadn't seen each other in over 5 years?
Well, that's simple. Tyler can't handle his alcohol, so I was just gonna play it off like we hooked up one night when he was wasted and he didn't remember it.
Wow, I'm at a loss for words. This goes beyond a simple misunderstanding. You're dangerous.
Shut your goddamn mouth, old lady!
By the way, Cindy, word has it you've been reported to the police.
The police? Wait, what?
You're outside my house right now, right? I just got a text from one of the neighbors saying they called the cops because they saw a suspicious girl crouched in the bushes with a pair of binoculars outside my house.
Whoa. Why would they do that? No. You need to explain to the cops that this is all a huge misunderstanding. I didn't break any laws.
I'm pretty sure making threats and trying to blackmail people is in fact against the law, Cindy. Despite the fact this ultimately turned out to be an outrageous case of mistaken identity based on a misunderstanding, doesn't mean it was any less scary for me. If my friend hadn't messaged and explained what was going on, I'd still be none the wiser to the truth and most likely be living in terror of what might happen to me and my daughter. I suggest you have a nice friendly chat with the police and calm yourself down. And count yourself lucky if you get off with nothing but a warning this time.
No, I don't want to talk to the cops. What the hell do you think you're doing?
My daughter and I spent the majority of this saga at my parents' house as refugees. When it was finally time to go home after everything had blown over, when I arrived at the house, I was dismayed to find all of my plant pots smashed into little pieces, and the front door covered in shoe marks that made it seem as though someone had been kicking it repeatedly with quite some force. Luckily, we have a door camera, and something tells me you won't be surprised to hear whose rage-contorted face we found on the footage. We swiftly handed the whole recording in at the police station alongside the chat logs of all her threats against me. When I did, without revealing any details, the sheriff told me she was already under investigation for another crime. The police worked their magic, and before Cindy knew it, she was behind bars. Even though it turned out to be a case of mistaken identity in the end, I still felt a strange sense of relief when I heard the news. Vince and I decided to take Tyler and move out of town, just to be safe. Fortunately, Cindy's parents seemed normal, and they agreed to cover all the costs. Me and Father were at her wits' end. We disowned and kicked her out after her third arrest, thinking it would be for her own good in the long run. How wrong we were, is what the message I got from her mom said. Who would have thought something as simple as my daughter's name could have led to such an absurd sequence of events? Reality really is stranger than fiction. But at least now, we finally have peace and quiet, and more importantly, peace of mind.
Hey, I've had enough here, so let's go already. I don't think I can handle any more of your family, so let's just leave and go find our own apartment or something. You and I both have decent jobs, so it's not like we have to worry about rent or anything like that now, right?
No, we're not going to be living here yet. I made a big promise to both my dad and that old bag. They had asked for us to come and live here, and I made sure that we'd uphold our end for a little while.
But Bill, they aren't even following the other half of that promise you've made with them. We haven't even done anything, and they've already been trying to stretch the limits. Weren't they at least supposed to help on the weekends with chores and cooking so that we could have some time off?
Well, the two of them are getting up there in age now. And they are used to having their weekends off as well still.
You can just say that the both of them are lazy, and that'll get the truth across. I wouldn't even mind that they're lazy and don't want to help, but they're always complaining about me. The food is too gross. The cleaning isn't done well enough. The bathtub is too cold for me. If they have the energy to be complaining about every little thing done here, then they have the energy to get off their butts and get some work done.
And I told you to have the water set to 104 degrees at least when you're filling up their tub with water. They could catch a cold going into a bath they expect to be hot, but is freezing cold.
It is not cold at all when I fill it. Just because they take a while to get into it and it's a bit more cooled off than they'd like doesn't mean they get to blame me.
I get that, but you're just gonna have to try and ignore what they say and just keep up the good work.
You're amazing, Bill. Before you ever got married to me, you had to help the two of them all by yourself, right?
Well, I'm their son after all. I had no other choice.
But you had to work a full-time job every day while also coming back to clean, do laundry, cook food. Having to take your dad out to see his friends, reading to your mom because she can't see well anymore.
Well, that's what most people would do for their aging parents, right?
I'm sure some people would. Even I plan to help my parents someday when they are too old to do things on their own. But having to do it while they are constantly slighting you, I can't be asked with that sort of work. It's like they can't even see that us still living with them and doing all this work is what's keeping them in a house.
But it's because of them that I've been recognized by the city and won some awards. If not for those, I wouldn't be obligated to be here with them.
You are better than your own dad now.
I know, but they were there to help me back then, so I can't say anything to them now for complaining about us.
But remember that he doesn't even care how you feel anymore. He may have been kind enough to help get you nominated and ultimately win, but he only did that for his own sake so that he could brag about you.
Ugh. Soon Belle will be coming back home as well, so I have to do my best. Can't let her see all of this when she's around, so just keep your ears shut and don't bother with what my parents have to complain about.
What? Are you kidding me?
No. She wants to come back here to be cared for before having her baby. Did I not tell you that before? That's why I can't stress this enough. If you and I leave this house now, it'll only get worse here than it's already been. And I don't want her coming back to a house that'll be in total disarray. That'll stress her out and might harm the baby as well.
That's the worst. At this point, this house will become a living hell with her around. Why are you still putting up with this family when they've barely done anything for you?
Well, because they're my family. I'm sorry for causing you to have to sit through all of this.
No, it's whatever. You have a will of your own, and so we can find some way to put up with them all.
Thank you for understanding that. Take the rest of the night off for me, okay?
Hey, April. Long time no see, right? This is Belle. I've come home to be cared for and have my baby around you all.
Oh, Belle. Hope your travels went okay. Been a long time now, hasn't it? Very rare to even see you anymore, considering you've been away for years now.
I had been thinking a few times that I wanted to stop by and see you all. And by the way, April, are you still not able to make babies?
Huh? Oh, no, that's, well, I guess.
I assumed so. Sorry about that one. Your little sister-in-law is going to be having kids before you can.
No, I'm not really worried by it or anything. Your brother and I aren't too keen on having kids anyway.
Huh? But if you don't have any kids, what will you do?
Well, what do you mean by that? I'm not really going to do anything different from what I do now. I'm going to continue enjoying my relationship with Bill as we grow older.
A marriage with someone that can't make any kids is boring though, right? I've seen all over the internet that couples that don't have kids end up getting a divorce in the end.
I think you're better off not believing everything you read on the internet, okay? Look, most couples aren't even married because of kids. Rather, for the couple to enjoy each other's company throughout their lives.
I know that, but even if you want to think of it like that, it must hurt knowing you can't make a baby.
Wait, saying something like that doesn't even have anything to do with you coming home. You're being rude.
Oh, come on. This has a lot to do with me coming home. Since you still cannot make any kids and don't plan to do anything about it, you're creating a problem for yourself, right?
I am.
Like, what I'm trying to say is that you're giving off a bad aura. And I wouldn't want that aura affecting me in any negative ways.
I told you we aren't having kids because we don't care for them. Bill and myself are both very busy with work, so we don't have time to care and raise kids. By the way, after not talking to me in so long, you're being a bit inconsiderate of me by saying things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm being honest here. Really, I feel that being around you in my parents' home might not be the best thing, as you'll give off bad auras.
What are you trying to say about me with that?
Well, you have been married to Bill for 3 years now and still haven't had a baby. Could that mean you and him are having troubles in bed? Oh, I don't want to have to see the two of you fighting over bad sex.
Ever since you've gotten married, Belle, do you not feel as though your heart has turned black? Before marriage, you were already acting pretty disgustingly, but now you're just a jerk.
Huh? Do you have something you want to complain about regarding me?
I do! After such a long time not talking to one another, you're back and making all kinds of rude remarks about me. Has becoming pregnant made you that moody?
No, I just know that I'm better than you. Remember, that house you're living in is my family's house, right? We are being nice to you by allowing you to live there. So you are below me when it comes to who sits where in the family. Understand?
I'm being allowed to live here.
You were right. And thank goodness for that. Thank goodness you were able to marry my brother. But as his little sister, I don't think I agree with your marriage. I am sure he doesn't anymore either, as you're just some hefty baggage that he has to haul around with him everywhere. Perhaps he likes being with you still, though. Or in that case, I'd have to say you both still living with my parents is gross.
You really love to say whatever comes to mind, don't you? Seriously, why does Bill have to have a family like this? You and your rotten parents really have done a great job trapping your brother here and making him do all the labor.
Don't tell me you're talking bad about my family now.
No. Well, actually, I'd say that I'm just telling the truth about you all. At this point, I've been spoken poorly of on numerous occasions, and my life in your parents' house has been nothing but bad lip about me.
Listen, April. I don't mind you trying to slight me, but when you start slighting my parents is where I draw the line. I've had it now. You and my brother are just in the way now, so you both get out of that house.
Oh? You're okay with us both leaving?
Of course I am, April. With you both out of the house, we won't have to suffer anymore. And having a couple in the house that haven't had kids yet only makes things worse for me when trying to have mine. I'm afraid of catching any germs from you. So, hurry up and get out of the house.
Really? Thank you so much, Belle.
Stop trying to act all tough about it. And of course we'll be cutting ties with you. So don't come around me ever again.
Oh, you want to cut ties as well to me. And not just you, right, but your mom and dad as well?
Of course. I'll never forgive you if you come in front of me or my parents after this. And as for Bill, I don't care about him. So make sure he's out of the house as well.
Really? This is the perfect scenario for me. Well, I'll be taking you up on your wish right now.
Hurry up and get lost! Hey! What has happened to this house?
This is no good, Belle. You and I don't know each other anymore. Did you forget about that?
No, hold on. You come back here, April. Right now, this whole house is being turned upside down.
Upside down, huh? What do you mean?
My mom and dad are both having me do all the chores here. And they aren't serving any kind of food for me. And so far, I haven't even been able to get around the house without stepping on garbage. Those two, I have never seen the two of them act so lazily before, and it's disgusting.
You overlooked that then, huh? Those two have been that way for years and years now.
Why? When I was still in the house with them, everything was going okay.
Even back then, things were not going okay there. It was just that Bill was around doing all the cooking and cleaning in the house for you all.
Huh?
At first, he was their only child, so they forced him to do all of the chores on his own. But when you came along, they never bothered you with having to help him. Well, they never let up on him, even after you left the house. And when I married him, I was pulled in and the two of us had to be their parents. And Bill never complained once about it because he was raised to think that because he's their son, he needs to care for them.
Is that so? I was never coming home to see any of this, so I never knew. Actually, now that I remember living here back then, Mom and Dad were only ever in the living room on these exact couches.
And that is why, because both Bill and I have been freed from that house by you, we are so thankful. I had always wanted to get out of that place, but Bill was so deep into it that he couldn't find the means to break out. But with how quickly you told the both of us to leave, he didn't have time to think about if what he was doing was right or wrong.
Hey, I really never knew that my parents' house turned into a pigsty. I'm asking you to come home now.
Hold on. We are both complete strangers to all of you now, right? So we don't need to come back and help anymore.
Hey, me telling you that I wanted to cut ties happened days ago, right? I didn't mean to say such selfish things, so come back here and help me.
Whether you mean to be selfish or not, I already know what your character is. Are you embarrassed now that you sent the both of us out of there? Well, I can understand you acting like that when I've had to live with the two babies that had raised you.
Huh? Are you talking crap about my family again?
What? Oh, no. I shouldn't be doing that, huh?
There's no way you think it'd be okay to treat us like crap after what we've done for you, right? We gave you a house to stay in with my brother, so you having to do all the chores here was just a part of being his wife. Now come home.
You're acting like a lunatic right now. I'm perplexed. Just know that I don't care what happens over there now. Bye-bye.
Wait! Hey, Bill. Are you not embarrassed by throwing all your family away and running off?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how you left all your family here and ran away. What are you thinking? Did that witch threaten you to leave with her? What is she planning?
Huh? Wait, you're the one that told us to leave, right?
But I'm saying you actually getting up and leaving is screwed up. This is you stabbing all of us in the back right now.
Oh, sorry?
Sorry? What are you doing?
Hey, I didn't think me leaving was going to be similar to backstabbing you all or anything. I'm sorry, but we have a new place to live now that we're renting, so I can't come back to you guys. I was thinking about my wife during all of that, and that's why I chose to leave. So don't think that I was doing it to hurt you all.
So you're saying you're okay acting like this is all my fault. That is why you're the most useless brother anyone can ask for.
Sorry? But even if you hadn't cut ties with me, what else could I do? Before even talking about what I could do, though, are you going to be okay with that loan?
Huh? Loan?
Yeah, you have to pay $1,200 every month for it. April and myself have been paying it off for a while now, but will you be able to cover it now?
Huh? Are you saying that this house isn't owned by Mom and Dad?
They do own it, but recently Mom and Dad had the place expanded to allow April to move in. And so because of that, they have a loan that still needs to be paid off for a few more years.
You're lying, right? I never knew about that. Wait, what am I going to do about it?
Sorry. April's pretty pissed at you right now, so she's asking me to stop texting you now. I mean, we have cut all ties now, right? Sorry that you have to deal with all of that now, but you asked for it.
Huh? Oh, wait a second, Bill.
I'll try harder to be less of an embarrassment towards myself next time, okay? Now go on, and make sure that yourself and Mom and Dad have a great time in that house.
No, wait for me, Bill!
Learning about the struggles Bill had must be surprising, right? But I'm still shocked to see that he's still acting a little apologetic for doing nothing wrong. I was afraid that if I didn't put a stop to him, he'd go on forever talking to you guys and saying he's sorry.
Hey, wait. I'm not going to be able to pay for that loan or the house, April. I am carrying a baby right now. What should I do about all of this?
Well, if that's going to be a problem for you, then why not ask your husband to help?
I divorced my husband.
Oh! Are you serious? Why did that happen?
Shut up! Him and I are no more, so I have nowhere to go back to now. That's why my only option is to live back home with my parents. But not when it's this bad here.
Don't tell me that you cheated on him or something.
Huh? Why do you think that?
Your brother had your ex's contact information, so he had talked with him a while back. And your ex told him that you've been trying to run from having to pay him the settlement he's asked for. You really are a piece of crap, huh?
No, I do plan to pay him back. I just plan to come back to Mom and Dad's house first to save up some money. So please, come back here.
I'm sorry, but no. I'd be worried that by coming back to live there, you might catch germs or something from me. After that, Belle tried running away from her parents' house, but her parents came running after her to try and get her to come back to them. After all, they don't have anyone around to pay for the house anymore, and so without her, they won't be able to stay in it. But of course, it was too late for all of them, and they were all forced out of there. At that point, Belle was no longer able to run from her ex any longer. And when she gave birth to her baby, her ex came for it and took full custody before leaving her behind. I don't care at all about Belle and her parents, but I was a bit worried about the baby, so it's nice to see it being taken away. At this point in time, Belle and her parents are no longer in a home, and have left town to somewhere nobody knows. Bill tried to call them as he became a little worried about their condition. But they couldn't pay their phone bills, and so he wasn't able to reach them. However, only a month after they vanished, they appeared on the news after having been taken into custody. Seeing that they were all going to jail now for trying to shoplift as well as break into some stores, he was a bit worried and almost started to take action. The only reason they were appearing on the news for all of that was a week ago they had first started out by trying to rob a bank, but were able to get away before the police arrived. Quite surprising though, given the lack of fitness that the parents have after sitting around the house for such a long time. Anyway, before Bill could get up and move, I sat him down and told him that it's great to see that his family is all still doing very well together in jail. I'm sure it'll be a bit difficult for a while having to live without the rest of his family around him. But I'm sure he knows deep down that all of this is for the best, as those three were no good for any of us to be around.